Many teachers receive little to no training on navigating divorced or separated families. As a result, they find themselves unintentionally leaving one parent out of communication, becoming caught up in disagreements, let's say receiving conflicting instructions from each parent, especially during the school day, and this places children in uncomfortable situations. So today's episode is going to be about helping parents become partners with schools, not adding another layer of stress. If you don't know me, I am Dr. Jerry Johnson. I am the creator of Co-Parenting with Dr. Jerry, formerly Common Sense Co-Parenting. I want to welcome you here. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, for whenever you are watching this episode. I have moved to another country, and I will tell you guys tonight, this technology went totally haywire. Like I couldn't get my Zoom backgrounds, I couldn't get my screen to come up. It's been absolutely nuts. So, and it's the beginning of the school year where I am. We have our first day of school next week. And I honestly have been dealing with a situation or two with parents who are divorcing or separated parents already starting the conflict before we even start the school year. And the babies are in the middle of this mess. But anyway, if you have never come to my channel before, this should be a good episode for you. If you are returning, thank you so much. I am continuing the work from another country. I may not be posting as much at the beginning of this school year, but I believe me, I will get back on my consistency with the posting. But I will be doing my episodes because I know that this year is going to bring even more topics for me to be able to talk about. So I am Dr. J. Some people now call me Dr. Jerry. And today we're going to be talking about something that thousands of parents, co-parents experience every school year, but very few people want to discuss. Your child walks into school carrying one backpack, but they may also be carrying in that one pack two homes, one backpack, two homes, two calendars, two sets of expectations, and sometimes two parents who communicate very differently. Not that one parent communicates better than the other, and sometimes they might. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. But let's just say everybody communicates differently. Now imagine being the teacher in the middle of this with this one child, but they have 24, 25 other students in their classroom, maybe 30. You never know. So teachers are expected to educate your child while also trying to navigate complicated custody situations that they don't know anything about. You all can have all these conversations that you want with teachers. You know what the teachers and the administrators are worried about? They're worried about their child. If it is a safety issue, yes, we are worried about you too. Okay. If it is a safety issue for the child, we are definitely worried about that. But what you all need to realize is that most teachers, they're not trained for this. They're not trained to be solving problems between two grown big adults. That's not what they're trained for. They're trained to educate children, help them with their social emotional issues, help them with their friendships, things like that. Then now this doesn't make them bad teachers. They're not supposed to be your therapist. That's not what they're trained for. They are not there to navigate, to have to navigate and listen to the conflicting directions of two different parents who can't even communicate with each other so they can communicate a consistent message to the teacher. Now, all of this means that the teachers need our help. As a school administrator now, I have to navigate this situation before it even gets to a teacher because I don't want the teachers in the building that I lead to have to deal with this mess. And I'm calling it mess because it's two adults that can't even talk to each other for the sake of your child. That's a mess. Okay? Today's episode is going to be about making your child's school an ally for you and not another battlefield that you think you can conquer. You cannot tell a school or a teacher what to do about your child. There are legal ramifications. If you don't have legal documents for what it is you're asking, you might as well just let it go. Okay? Schools are bound by the laws of educational institutions that protect your child. Try their best to protect your child. They are not there to try to protect you. So, one of the biggest mistakes that parents can make is assuming that the school knows how the family works. And I'm not saying how the family works in a way that you're going to the teacher or you're going to the administrator just complaining about what the other parent does. You're making them a therapist, and they're not. I'm not here to listen to your sob story. Okay? Everybody has a story. Now, if the story is about what we need to do to support your child, that is perfectly fine. But I am not here to listen to what is going on with this other parent. And because if I hear it, I'm a mandated reporter. That means that if there's something safety issue wise going on with the other parent and you, I have to report it. So you telling me your business like that, it's nice to know, but it is not a need to know to try to get me on your side and not the other parents. The school is a neutral party, okay? And the school doesn't know how your family works. If you want to tell us, that's fine, but do not go to the school complaining about the other parent, okay? The best thing that you can do in this case is present one unified school plan to the school if there's a custody issue or a divorce, and you have to have legal documentation to ask the school to do anything as far as leaving one parent out of communication about health or academics or drop up, pick off. They can't drop them off. They can't pick them up. No, all of that needs to be in your legal documents, signed and sealed. That means there needs to be some stamps on it by the court. Otherwise, the school is a neutral party that has to follow the laws of whatever state or whatever country they are in for educational institutions. Now, if you want to create a family information sheet and you and your co-parent can actually talk, that would be a great idea to present a unified, we talked about this before, front and a school plan. And when I say a family information sheet, I mean things that the teacher is probably going to ask you anyway, but you could do it ahead of time since you know your child's living in two households. The student's preferred name, parents' name, best email addresses, and keep them updated, please. Emergency contacts, keep them updated, please, with phone numbers that actually work. Transportation information, custody information, all valid legal paperwork if needed. Preferred communication method, if it's email, text, phone call, what have you. The goal is not to explain your whole breakup, situationship, divorce, or anything like that to anybody. We don't need to know all of that. We don't even need to know you're divorced. We don't even need to know there's a divorce going on. Okay? The goal is to help the school support your child. So, some action steps you could take after creating this family information sheet. Update all contact information before school starts with the school. Don't just send the sheet of paper to school with the kid and think that it's going to get to the teacher and the teacher's supposed to send it to the office and put all that in, to have the secretary put all that information. No. Go to the parent portal that you have access to, or call the main office or go visit the main office of the school and give them all the updated information before school starts. That's number one, action step. Make sure both parents receive school communications when appropriate. Your other co-parent should be able to receive at least school communication through email, text, or what have you. And share only the information that affects the student's education. What is going to affect their schooling is what we need to know as educators. We don't need to know all that other stuff about how you feel about the other co-parent, what they're doing to block you from seeing the child, all this stuff. We don't need all that. It just let me be real with y'all. It shows a low emotional intelligence when you cannot control yourself and the information that you provide about your co-parent to the school staff. I don't care if it's the district office staff that you think you cool with. I don't care if it's, the teacher that you think you can talk to or whatever because your child's in their room. No, 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 no. It shows a very low emotional intelligence and actually a little bit of immaturity when you cannot control your emotions about the situation that is going on. And we pick it up very easily. Why? Because we work with hundreds of kids in a school every day. We can pick up the emotional things that are going on. Okay. And we have to navigate those with kids every day, all day. We do not expect to have to navigate those with adults, big grown people, every day either. Okay. So please, please, please do not make yourself look bad by going to the school and having emotional outbursts about your co-parent. It doesn't do anything. All right. So, in creating a united front, we're going to provide the information sheet to the school office or go into the parent portal and update it. Okay. Update that contact information before school starts along with emergency contacts. Make sure both parents receive the school communications when appropriate, if they're supposed to. Share only information that affects the student's education. And when I say when appropriate, that's when the other parent wants to actually know what's going on with the child's school. That's a great thing. That's not a bad thing. But if you're in a space where you feel like, well, why they need to know that's a problem. Why are we so combative with each other? All right, I'm going to go on to strategy number 2 for this. And remember that we're talking about when teachers don't know how to handle 2 homes. This is like school drama. Help an educator out, okay? Without them having to ask you. All right, strategy number 2, and I just talked a little bit about this, is to keep teachers out of adult conflict. Teachers do not go to work every day to be in the middle of adult drama. Teachers should never become messengers from one parent to another. Like you saying to a teacher, tell her father or tell his father. No, 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 no. Who you talking to? This is a grown person who is at their job, being a professional, educating, teaching, and taking care of your child every day, and you want to talk to them as if they're your messenger? No, that's not what they get paid for. No. All this tell their mother or tell their father or my ex said, no. This is what I want you to do. This is some self-work we need to do. Ask yourself, is this something that the teacher actually needs to know to educate my child? Do they need to know that you saw the dad at the strip club? Do they need to know that the dad or the mom got a new boyfriend or girlfriend you don't like? Like, does that have anything to do with them educating your child? If not, handle that outside of school and leave that teacher out of it. Leave all the educators out of it. Because we got enough on our plates every day. Okay? Please handle what you need to handle on your own. If we need to support you in some things by doing some different things with your child in the classroom because maybe they're having a hard time with the separation or, a hard time living between two households, we got that. You can ask us and you can tell us and we got that. But leave the educators that are educating your child out of the drama. And some action steps to help you actually do this. Let's talk about it. Communicate directly with the other parent when you have something to say. Your child should not be the messenger. The teacher should not be the messenger. Not even your therapist, if you have one, should be the messenger. Your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, nobody else. You. Let's put the big girl, big boy panties, underwear on, and let's directly communicate with the other parent. The first thing out of somebody's mouth is, well, they won't talk to me. Da, da, da. Oh, okay. Why won't they talk to you? How are you coming to them? Is it best to text them rather than, are we texting in such a way that it's a positive tone? Are we coming to them, presenting to them? Presentation is important. Presenting to them in such a way that this is about our child and not about us. Communicate directly with the other parent. Avoid copying teachers on disagreements. If the teacher sends an email or the school sends an email, you do not go in on somebody and start talking about them when you know they're on that email. Reply all is not always good. Just hit reply directly to the teacher in that case. But you should not be copying anybody on disagreements that you have with your co-parent. If it is a safety issue and your co-parent has said something crazy, like they're going to go blow up the school or something, then yes, call the school. You shouldn't be emailing something like that. That's an emergency. You pick up a phone during the safety issue. Okay? But do not copy teachers on disagreements that you have with your co-parent. Number 3, keep the emails, and I said this before in one of my previous episodes. Go back and look at it about communication. I have several episodes about communication. Keep emails brief, respectful, and child-focused. You shouldn't even be saying nothing about your co-parent. Any emails to the teacher should be about your child, and that's it. I have seen this go haywire already this year, and school hasn't even started. People heightened in emotions and all this type of stuff want to talk about the other culprit. That gets you nowhere. because now you've just shown the educators what they have to deal with for the rest of the school year. And usually it gets worse during the school year. It doesn't get better. If this is how you acting during the summer, I can't imagine how you getting ready to act during the school year. And I am ready for it. I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. I will not allow people to harass the educators in the building that I lead. I can't see it. I can't see it. So that's strategy number 2. Keep the educators out of the adult conflict. And that is my dehumidifier. I wonder if you guys can hear that. Let's see if I can turn it off until I get finished. All right. So it gets a little moist in here in the evening sometimes. But anyway, so during the school year, what I ask you guys to do is for strategy number 3, especially, I know this is hard for some people. I know it's hard. Either I've seen 2 cases. Either you are keeping yourself from doing this, or the other co-parent is keeping you from doing this. And I get it. But what I'm going to tell you is this. For an educator, becoming a partnership parent is one of the most important strategies that you can do. Educators just want to know that you are a parent that wants to help solve the problem. So teachers really appreciate parents who solve problems. Instead of beginning like conversations with them with complaints about something, begin with some curiosity. You know, I try to ask questions more than I give, advice. Ask a question like, what have you noticed about, my daughter or my son? What support can I provide to help with my daughter or my son? Can you give me some ideas about like what's working well at school? Because at home, we're having a little bit of struggle with X, Y, and Z because of the switching of the houses and, all this stuff. So this creates trust, not just with the teacher, but it also creates trust for you in the teacher. Because if your teacher can answer these questions, that means they've been paying attention to your child. If they can't answer these questions, then they got a little bit more work to do, and you'll see that too. Okay? But when challenges come up later, like teachers will be more likely to work with you collaboratively and not just write a discipline referral or send the kid to the office because they like, if I call home, I know they gonna have something to say, they gonna crash out, so I ain't even gonna deal with it. I'm just gonna send them to the office. So become a partnership parent. Don't become that parent that people don't want to come, like they don't want to see you coming. That's the worst type of parent to be. Okay? Some action steps that you could do to become the partnership parent. Introduce yourself early. Like, even if it's just an email or something like that, and you're not able to make it to parent night and all this stuff, just introduce yourself. Thank the teachers. Like, and it doesn't have to be that often. It could be around the holidays. It could be, mid-year. It could be end of year. Teacher Appreciation Week. Just thank them. They love just to be thanked that one time of the year, even if it's just Teacher Appreciation Week. And the last thing that I know a lot of parents have difficulty with And sometimes it's warranted. But I need you to assume positive intent before assuming that a teacher is just after your kid. Okay? We all know our kids, human behavior is not going to let us tell on ourselves. We see it in our world today. We see these kids out here doing crazy stuff to other kids, to adults, and everything else, and they will not tell the truth because human behavior is about survival. We are trying to survive. And lying is a way that we show that. Nobody wants to. Human behavior is not going to let us tell on ourselves many, many, many times until we absolutely have to. We have adults out here that are the same way. Where you think the kids learn it? So, a lot of people have these biases about some teachers before the child even gets to the room. People have biases about principals, and I experienced it before they even walk into the building. Just when they introduce you to you know the staff or introduce you to the community. I mean, it's the same thing with politicians or judges or doctors. People have their biases, period, about people just from looking at them. They think something about somebody, don't even know the person. I've done it before. We've all done it before. But what I ask you to do with teachers who are receiving your children every day is that these teachers are not in the classroom for no reason. Even if it's at one point in time they love being with children, they can still reignite that and get it back. But my thing is this: assume positive intent with your teachers before assuming that they're just after your child. Okay? And assume that they want to collaborate and they want to partner with you because they do. It makes our lives easier as educators when parents partner with us. And partnering is not telling them how to do their job. If you want to be a teacher, get the degree and go teach. I'm not going to tell my doctor what they should be doing as a doctor. I'm going to them to get, diagnosis and get some feedback about what I need to do to keep myself healthy. I don't understand why people think that they can tell educators how to educate children and you have never been an educator. That's like somebody walking on your job as an attorney or, you are a politician, whoever, somebody walking on your job and saying, you need to do this, and that. Have you ever done what I do? No. I just know that's what you need to do. You're going to look at them like they're crazy. So let's become the partnership parent and not the problem one. Let's not do that. That's not good. So my challenge to you this week coming up, if you have not done these already before school starts, I want you to do this. And then I said some of these same ones last week. Verify your school contacts and emergency numbers. Verify them. And I'm telling you right now, legally, if the dad or the mother is on the birth certificate, they are subject to all rights that they have as a parent within the educational institution. So that means they can pick up, drop off, all of that, unless legally you have something that says that they can't. So even if you say, well, we haven't been together for 2, 3 years, most states are going to say it doesn't matter if the name is on the birth certificate. that person can pick them up. So you need to be careful about that. Be mindful of that. And have something legally in place so people cannot pick your child up if you don't want them to. But the people who can pick your child up, you need to verify those school contacts and emergency contacts. Make sure all numbers work. The next thing, and I'm saying this, you all, because I have seen kids in schools that I have led have asthma attacks, have different things happen to them, sprain an ankle, break an arm, all of that. They got to go to the hospital and get on the ambulance, and we can't find anyone that we can talk to that can meet this child at the hospital so someone can make medical decisions without the hospital making the medical decisions, because they will. They will work on your child and do what it is they want to do without you there. But we call all numbers and can't get a person on the phone. That is the scariest situation for me to be in as a school leader, because then I'm the adult that's at the hospital with a child that I can't even make medical decisions for. I'm a little bit, I know, I'm a little bit up there tonight. I know it's been a week. Anyway, second task, create your family information sheet. Remember, if you're going to give it to the teacher, do not assume that she's going to put in all of that information, because teachers don't always have access to the student information system like the secretary of the school does and the principal. So if you give the teacher certain information, I suggest that you give a copy to the front office. You cannot assume that they're going to remember to give a copy to the front office. You can't do that. And if you send it with your kid, you cannot assume that it's going to get to the teacher. Just because you put it in the backpack before they got out of the car and then they went into the school does not mean it got to the teacher. Okay? And please, please, please stop asking teachers to take stuff out of your kids' backpacks. Sometimes we find things that we really don't want to see. We don't. And if it's something that we have to report, that's even worse. So can you please just give the contact information to the teacher yourself and give a copy to the office, even if you have to email and copy the office assistant or the secretary on it. Okay? Thank you. Please. And thank you. All right. Last thing, schedule one positive introduction with your child's teacher. Just one. Easy thing to do. One positive introduction. Even if it's like sending an email, sending a little video of yourself, walking into the school on, back to school night, or meet the teacher night. Even if that's the first, even if that is the only event that you go to all year. Meet the teacher night, great foundational meeting with the teacher. Okay. All right. 3 things I'm challenging you to do before school starts. Verify school contacts and emergency contacts. Create your family information sheet. Give copies to the teacher and the secretary at the school. Schedule one positive introduction with your child's teacher. Even if it is introduce you and your child introducing yourself through a video and emailing the teacher. There you go. There you go, right there. All right. So, what I really want to solidify as I close, because I think I need to get off my soapbox tonight, because I could go for F's with this one. Teachers are not mediators. You need to work with the family court for that. They're not judges. They can't sign and seal paperwork. They can make things legal and illegal. Neither can the school. You can't tell the school so and so can't do this and can't do that, and there's no paperwork for that. Get the paperwork. They are educators. I need them to teach. When parents reduce the confusion, teachers gain more time to focus on what matters most. They should not be focused on parent issues. They should be focused on helping your child learn. So remember, children should never feel like they have to choose between home and school. And a lot of kids do, because we got a lot of parents so-called don't like the teachers. They telling their kids they don't like the teachers, but the kid really likes the teacher. You just got your problems. And then they feel like they got to choose between you and the teacher that they're with all day. Many times this is the thing. Think about how much time the kid is with the teacher versus how much time your child is with you throughout the school year. Do we really want an adversarial relationship with this person that takes care of your child all day? Now, don't get me wrong. If they're treating your child wrong, we've seen every profession has bad apples. We've seen some cases of racist teachers, all this type of stuff. We've seen that, okay? And I understand if you don't like them then. But for the most part, I have met thousands of educators across the country and now in another country. And most of them are really there for kids. So they deserve you both working together. Children do not deserve having to choose between home and school. Okay? So I'm going to close up tonight by saying thank you for joining me for this episode of Co-Parenting with Dr. Jerry. I hope that this back to school season is a calm one for you this year. Well, at least a little bit more calm than last year. We just gonna go with a little bit more, okay? The small wins. We got to go for the small wins. Now, hopefully it's a little bit more calm. If you did not see my previous episode on back to school, please go back and listen to that one, because I talked about how to prepare for back to school with your co-parents and things that you can do. Everybody's starting up. My school starts next week. So I'm in the flow of things and things like that too. But hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to see the rest of my episodes coming up in the future. Forward this to someone if you think that it would be helpful for them regarding back to school. I just wanted to do a couple of episodes because I know this is a very hectic time for people trying to get back to school, and then everybody's at work and things like that. So hopefully this helped you tonight. And once again, thank you for joining me. And I'm going to say, as I always do, go out there and co-parent with a purpose. I'll see you guys at the end of the month, last Friday of the month. Have a great back to school season if it starts before. Bye.